Hi, I'm Alice, and today I'm going to tell you the story of how anger made a reliable spell backfire. If this is your first time seeing me, I'm a psychic, energy worker, witch, and coach, and I make content on the intersection of spirituality and psychology. And if you have seen me before, then you might be surprised to hear that with all of the momentum and the beautiful things I'm doing with my channel and my business and my podcast, I have decided to change my name. And from now on, I will be Alice Estrella Strange. That is Estrea, Estrella. And that name is going to be on all of my channels and my social medias. So if you're following me and that name pops up and you don't recognize it, that's me. Hey, editing Alice here. I forgot to add that I will be doing an entire video in podcast episode all about this new name, where I will discuss some details about why I picked it and going into the human design of it. It will be with my good friend and mentor, Lighthouse, so keep an eye out for that. Okay, back to the video. And if you want to hear more about all of the amazing things that are to come, check out the end of this video. But now, let me tell you the story about how anger made a reliable spell backfire. This was probably around 2021. I had been a witch for maybe 8 years and practicing for about 3. I had a spell that I still use to this day. Very reliable. I had used it maybe 5 or 6 times, and it had always worked wonderfully with no negative repercussions, just perfect, smooth sailing spell. It is a banishing spell by title, but it's more like a really, really strong shielding. It pushes everything you don't want out and holds that firm boundary. And in this spell, through every incantation, there's probably 5 or 6 incantations, through every incantation, over and over, it states for the highest good, with no harm done. All of these things, every step of the way, it is all positive, all wonderful. And it worked every time, perfectly. This whole story starts with my job. And I was working at an office type setting, and I had a coworker who was just kind of that coworker, very rough, very difficult to be around. And she just kind of took a disliking to me. And I had already used this spell once to keep her negativity at bay and just kind of find my peace back at the workplace. And it had been working for over a month, but she found a newfound sense of determination, and she was trying to get me fired so I could lose my job. And at this point, I am angry. I am furious. I tried every mundane routine. I tried talking to other coworkers. I tried talking to my boss. I tried being kind. I'm always kind. I was trying so hard to do everything I could to just get her to be kind and leave me alone. That's all I wanted. But I was angry. I was in my feels. So I decided finally, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to do this spell again. We're going to take care of it. And anger is a powerful energy. It can be a good energy. You can use it to fuel wonderful spells, things, even for positive growth, even for positive change. Anger is very powerful. It's like fire. It's like the element of fire. And you can use fire for a lot of great things, but fires can cook food and keep you warm, but it can also burn down a forest if it's not contained. That's kind of what happened here with the anger. So I'm going about my spell. I'm every step of the way. I'm putting in everything I always do. But I have not processed the anger that I was holding on to. I was really, really holding on to this anger. And that should have been my first full stop. No, we're not gonna. But of course, that's not what happened. And so I did the spell. I'm going through every step, and I get to the last incantation. And I finish, I come to the end, and in my anger, I said, and she better keep my name out of her goddamn mouth. And I finished the spell, blew out my candle, cleaned up my work, take down my circle, finished my day. I'm feeling good. I released a lot of that anger into the spell, as we will see, and I felt a lot better. And so I didn't think anything of it. I thought this was just another, 3 years into my practice, I thought, oh yeah, just another spell, run of the mill. I go to work the next day and this coworker is not there. And I didn't think much of it. There had been some like colds and things going around and people had been taking time. It was of the time of COVID. Things were happening. So I just, okay, sure. Mundane first, right? And I didn't see her for the next day and the next day. And a week passed and I hadn't heard from her. But there was a rumor going around that she was sick. She was taking some time off because she was sick. And so the next week, exactly 7 days after the spell, she did come back to work. And I'm sitting at my desk in the office. I see her come in. I don't think much of it. Just another day. She comes in and she's obviously distressed. She was often very agitated, but she seemed more agitated than she would normally at the very beginning of her workday. And she came in and she walked over to the desk across the room and she leans over to someone and I hear them say, "What? What? I can't, what?" And she just like angrily and runs out of the room. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, that's odd. That's odd. And she came back into the room and she had a small marker board and a dry erase marker. And she wrote on this board, "I've lost my voice and I cannot speak." And I was so I was devastated and terrified and like, what have I done? What have I done? And like, I just could not, the whole day, my world was rocked. And like, I knew magic was real. It worked, but I did not know that it was that real. Sometimes as witches, if you've been through this, you've known, like, you have a spell work in a way that you did not expect, but it very much works. And you have a whole newfound sense of, oh, this is real. And so she couldn't speak. She was sick for a week, and then 2 weeks after, she could not speak. But she did leave me alone. She was never upset at me again. She didn't ever try to spread rumors, or it was peaceful. But I definitely learned my lesson. And from this, I hope you can take that with anger. There are ways to transmute it. There are ways to ground it. And if you do not know how to harness the power of anger for a spell, be careful using it as fuel, especially if you're not trying to achieve something a little spicy, a little rough. If you're going for love and light, leave the anger at the door. There are lots of ways to do this. You can ground, you can cleanse, anything that would be like a normal coping skill, a grounding activity, anything you would do to just calm yourself in your day-to-day life can also be used this way. I like to couple coping skills with like grounding or going for a walk, exercise, any kind of creative expression, doing art, doing writing, venting to someone. Let out that anger before you try to do a spell, because like a fire, if it's not very contained, it can get very wild. And so, yeah, like I said, I do use this spell to this day. I've adapted it. I've made it my own a little bit more. It's a good way to push out anything negative, really put up that wall and keep in the good without harming anyone if you keep your anger in check. I do this spell for a lot of my clients and people who want to hire me for that reason. And after 3 years of practice, it's gotten much better, much more succinct, no more rogue spell accidents. Actually, that was the last one. Another thing this spell helped me realize is that words are very powerful, especially in magic. I have a bunch of content, 2 big long podcast episodes on curses, especially unintentional curses. And this really is just someone's words, or even like words that in thought form, affecting people in ways that we don't realize. And for us who are very strong, very intense people, our words can actually mean a lot. They can affect ourselves and others in ways that we don't really realize. Nowadays, I am very careful about my words, and I choose them very intentionally. I never want another rogue spell experience, especially not one that I didn't even cast a spell for. You'll never catch me saying, I hope that something terrible happens to someone, or this awful thing is going to happen to me. I've done that in the past, and it really does affect things way more than I would like it to. But the upside to that is I get to choose my words to create my positive reality that I want. So I am always weaving my reality with very carefully chosen words, because every word is a spell. That's why it's called spelling, because words are spells. I've been considering doing some kind of class or course or some kind of material people can work with me as in a group setting to really weave their spellcraft with words very carefully chosen. What energies, deities, spirits to call on, and how certain words have much better frequencies than others. For example, rather than saying I want to, you can say I desire. That's one simple little change that changes the entire feeling of what you're trying to say. And it's something I'm very passionate about, and I think more people need to know about. And if you really want to deep dive, just comment down below, deep dive, and I will get on it. I will answer the call, because I'm just really passionate about spreading the wisdom that I do have, like sharing that with people, because learning witchcraft can take years of trial and error, and having someone there to guide you and point you in the right direction can really up your game, can really help you evolve much quicker with much fewer backfires. I'm also very passionate about sigils. I make my sigils very different than a lot of other people, and I've been considering doing some information on sigils, particularly some kind of like masterclass. And if you're interested in that, comment sigils down below and I will answer that call. And a little bit more about my business, my channel, where things are going. I've been pushed by spirit lately to really just be my full self, my best self, and just shine. And I'm ready. And so I've started a free community. And if you'd like to join, the link will be down below. It's just a simple, small little community for now, but it's a safe space where people can come, connect, find like-minded people, and I'm just so excited to share this with you. I've had a great example of a wonderful community that brought me up and helped me, supported me through a lot of things. And I'm ready to do more. I'm ready to expand and make my own version, make my own place for people to become their best self. And so if you'd like to join, go ahead, click the link down below. Anyone's allowed to post in the community, make comments, make threads, ask questions. We're all here to support each other and grow together. There will be events and groups held, small things and bigger things, things like movement and yoga and guided meditations led by me. And very soon I will have a self-development group up and going, ready for everyone. It's a group that I've been running for over a year, and it's kind of like an emotional support group, but with a spiritual flavor. And with my professional background and all of the different things, this group is something I'm so passionate about, this one particular event. And it's helped so many people, and I'm ready to expand and bring it to more people. And that's just the beginning. There's going to be so much more going on. Don't miss it. Check it out. If you want to join, it'll be there. I still have my psychic abilities practice group up and going if you want to join that too. I'll put a card up here for anyone who wants to check out some clips from one of our meetings. It's an amazing group for a really good price that really helps people expand their abilities in ways they never thought they could. And all the other things I've been doing are still going. I'm still doing one-on-one coaching with a couple spots left there. I'm still doing readings and rewriting your soul contracts in the Akashic Records. I just have so much energy and I am ready to share it with the world. I would love to hear any stories about your spell backfires that you did not expect down in the comments. I will read every single one of them. It's such a great learning experience to make a mistake and move forward, and sharing that with others is even more helpful. Make sure you like the video and subscribe so you don't miss any more content, and I will see you in the next one.